Our last guest is a special kind of an author. His name is Dalibor Barić, and he's joining in from Zagreb, Croatia. My name is Igor Prassel. I'm the program director of Animateka Festival, and my co-host for this talk is Veronika Zakonjšek, a young film critic from Slovenia. Dalibor, how is it going? How are you? Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Hi. I'm a little bit tired, but fine. Yeah. I'm ready for interview.
Great. I'm so happy that actually we managed this year to organize this part of the program, which is called Croatia Visiting. And because of the situation, actually nobody could visit the festival, but still with the help of HAUC, the Croatian Audiovisual Center, we managed to prepare like an extensive retrospective with 8 programs, and your film, Dalibor, is among these programs. So actually you are part of the Croatia Visiting, and I'm extremely happy because we made a deal with the producers and with everybody that all those films, they will be screened in a real cinema at the Slovenian Cinematheque next year, 2021, when we will be able to get back to the cinemas. So I'm happy also that your producer allow us to rescreen your beautiful film, Accidental Luxuriance of the Translucent Watery Rebus, once again in the cinema when we will be ready. I hope you are happy
Yes,
because of that as well. Because I think that especially your film, and we will talk about the film for 1 hour or so, was made to be presented, to be screened in cinemas, right?
Yes, exactly. I saw it once on the screen, and it's just a movie for the cinema. Yeah.
Okay. I will shortly introduce you to the audience that maybe doesn't know you yet. So Dalibor Barić, born in 1974, is a multimedia artist from Zagreb. He makes short experimental and animated film, music videos, festival trailers, installations, graphic novels, drawings, and cutouts. He's also a music composer. So it's a very short biography, but it shows that you are really a multi-talented author working in a broad field of the arts. But before starting to get a little bit more deep into your creativity and to analyze your first feature experimental animated film, I would ask you this question. Besides screening your film at this year Animateka, you were also a jury member. Can you tell us a little bit how was this experience, and what do you think of this year's selection in the Central and Eastern European Animateka main competition program?
There was very interesting films. Some of them were inspiring for me, and during with Zoom was new thing for me, maybe for the others, but it was warm at the end. I said it's like when you start watching new TV show, and after first episode you are already engaged with the characters, and so after a while I was really happy to see my temporary new friends, to talk a little bit, to make a jokes, and it was very, very nice, especially now when we don't see a lot of people, and
That's good. I hope you got a little bit of positive energy in those really.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, let's start to talk about your film, and I would just like to say before we start that for you directed it, you wrote it, you animated, you made the compositing, you edited it, you made the music. And that's it. So actually, you had collaborators only for sound design, and you had a really great casting for the voices, the voice in the film. And actually, you had a producer that probably, hopefully, helped you a little bit to put everything together. So maybe you just tell us at the beginning about this part, of the almost one band.
Yeah. Because it is because of computers, and when I start to make films and videos, I was making it with what I had, with no camera, but with scanning and searching for some find footages and collages, and it was the easiest way to make a movie, and it was fun too, because it was not complicated. It was almost like arranging a tarot, to put all these images, and suddenly you have some coherence, some story. And so when these movies start to appear on festivals, and Animateka was first festival to show my movie in the cinema, it was somehow unreal for me, because I feel some kind of unease, but these are not movies. These are something, I don't know what to call them. They are not serious films. And but on the other hand, in this way, I had this freedom and relaxation, not to be under the pressure. I was just doing what I know best, and within a time it expand, become more complex, and my ambitions grew. And but I always like this approach as a novelist who only need a type machine and like Italo Calvino, and then the desk, and taka and do everything in one place. So even I, before shoot some scenes, locations, and actors from some of my previous films, it's always the main stage is the computer, and I have everything here. It's I have new scenario for the new film, which somehow is based on this. In this film, there's a screenwriters who have had a giant synthesizers typing machine with everything. Even the vaporizers for different emotions, everything to put them in the mood to write. So this is like my projection of me and computer. And but I wrote the script. It was like fragments of text, sentences, and at one point it starts to taking some serious shape and content, and I think I had from the beginning some inner visualization of this accidental luxuriance. But when I recorded the actors, this was moment when it became real, and I had basically radio drama. I put them on timeline, everything in duration, what is it of the final film, and they become real, these characters from the film. And after that, I start to putting layer by layer visuals. And this movie is actually like medieval palimpsest. It's layer upon layer, because I sometimes I was I will finish one part but start again over and over till I was satisfied, because the problem was some part functioned very well as a collage, but other parts somehow not, and then I used the rotoscopy, and so there is this little difference in the level of representation of reality in this film, and sometimes it's almost abstract or like comic or like some graphic design, and somehow is really going toward the motion and the movie. But I wanted to have this artificial stylized look, so I reduce the details from this rotoscope parts, just to fit with each other and to distance from the reality. I don't know, there's a catch in this approach, because when you have to oblige to something when you're doing a feature film, to maintain some level of reality and these laws of time and space and characters and the story. But here you can just do whatever you want. It's a borderline between animation, experimental film, and feature film, and you can do I can do whatever I want. No one will, then you accept the rules of the game, and no one said, hey, wait, this guy was like this, and who is that, and where is this happening, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. So this is exactly what I need to suit my needs and as an author. I like experimental literature, novels. I like all these games with everything, with text, with logic, and so this is what fits me. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Okay, so you already told us how you played with rotoscope and collages and found footages and experimental abstraction. So I'll just skip to my next question.
All in one long sentence.
So you're also playing with genres, like mixing somewhat political sci-fi with a metaphysical film noir, I felt like it. So the whole film somehow puts us in a feeling of being in a free fall through time and space, but there's still some rough structure of an ongoing investigation in there. So I was wondering how you've structured it into detective story.
So this movie got her compile on one place noir and surrealism and French New Wave, and these things are intertwined. I mean, noir owns a lot to German expressionism, but also to surrealism, and almost in every noir movie there is a dream sequence when the character is drugged or injured, and there is almost animation part of the movie when he's falling through some surrealistic places, like giant objects, door after door, and hull of mirrors and stuff. And also I like this, like Raymond Chandler. It's very like Lou Reed, like Peltanoga, very, very rock and roll style of conversation. Everything is bare to the bone, but somehow raw and poetic. And Sorry, you have to remind me on this other part of the questions, because I
no, it's just I was wondering how come you've structured it into detective story.
Yeah, detective story. Yeah, I was coming to that. So I like French cinema. I like French new novel of Alain Robbe-Grillet, and he mostly used this detective framework, and it's like someone said that this is the most important genre in 20th century detective novel or detective film. And movie itself is some kind of detective investigation. We are as audience finding clues, getting all together to the final point. But there is a twist here, because this is not the classical searching for meaning, and then at the end you have explanation. This is maybe it's old thing, but this is as the inspector in the forest said. It's not about the finding the answer, but giving asking good questions. So this investigation that ends without conclusion, and so this was like this structure armature for which allows some dynamics and tension to allow these characters of Martin and Sarah, their poetic inner space monologues, which I think I pressured the most, these parts. I always liked the movies, like, Hiroshima Mon Amours. With this movie, for first 10 minutes, you just have this interplay of monologues. I like movie like, and to end with also with that, not with the bang, but with the whispering.
Actually, Dalibor, talking about detective stories, the film that you choose for the opening of the festival was Vatroslav Mimica, Inspector is Coming Back Home, which is also like a very important reference in style. And
my old movies looks a lot like Vatroslav Mimica's and Zagreb Film Animation. They also got this cutouts, collage. It's a big thing in the 60s.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about, you mentioned already like a radio play, and for me, when I saw it for the first time, then I resaw it, but the first time actually I said, but this is if I close my eyes, it's a perfect radio play. And I'm sure, because I know some of the voices, Pavlica Brazoduro-Bajsic and Fran Mašković, they are all doing radio plays in their professional life, and I think that you collaborated with them in the past already, right?
Yes. I collaborated a lot with Pavlica, and on Orpheus with Frano Mašković. They did this Orpheus. Was like closer to Jean Cocteau Orpheus, with the radio and poetry, and I was always crazy about that thing, poetry, experimental poetry on the radio.
But actually, as you said, when you recorded them, then you got like some narrative structure for your film.
Yes.
That you could then destroy or play over with your visuals. Is it correct?
Yeah, I didn't move much. I just fixed the beginning and ending, but everything is as I wrote it goes on exactly as I wrote it. And I put beneath everything, I put this soft noise of recording. So there is never is complete silence. So even where is completely blank screen, you know that movie is going on, because it's the duration. and I choose to use the music only as some recapitulation of the scene before, or some intermezzo between two scenes. So it's very rarely in the film that music underlines the talking. I want to do like old-fashioned movies from 60s. You have this voice, and this crackling, and then like accent, like BBC radiophonic TV shows. You have 2-3 tacts of some music, and you go to other scenes. It's like curtains fall and opening up.
Actually, it sounds, and you are telling it that you see your films actually in a way like a theater, right? Inside the screen when you are making them. Is it referential to theater as well? Even though Veronika will ask you more questions about referentiality towards cinema, but is this theatrical thing? That,
yeah, it could be also theatrical piece. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the cinematographic references.
Okay, so the film is really interesting when you're trying to decode all the references and influences that can be found in it. And I could sense some Tarkovsky and maybe Cronenberg and Buñuel, Jean-Luc Godard maybe, like Alphaville. But can you tell us more about the films or the directors which served as an inspiration, and what about those particular films made you want to reference it in your work?
Yeah, I put everything in this blender for the movie. So there is a joke about Tarkovsky and Cronenberg, and it's very strong. When you mention Tarkovsky and Cronenberg, it's already something. But I found once on the one forum people discussing how to record the actor in the mirror. So I opened the Word document and substitute a camera and mirror with Cronenberg and Tarkovsky, and then sentence was beautiful, like poetry. When there is Cronenberg in the scene, you can see the Tarkovsky's mirror. But it was actually talk about technicality, how to record something. But okay, so I already mentioned some directors and some writers, and Ursula Le Guin, and maybe there's a Philip K. Dick, but I didn't think consciously. I'm really into J.G. Ballard and Mark Fisher, the British theorist and philosopher, and all these hauntology things about lost futures, cancelled futures, and this optimistic modernist faith in continued progress, and today you have continuous upgrade. It's like different world. It's a permanent present, because you don't go anywhere. I mean, nor symbolically, because everything comes here. We constantly upgrades, and I always loved the old cinema, because for me it was like peeking in some parallel universe. It was closest to parallel universe we get. We can see future, but we see the people from the other times, as a ghost, and we put selves in this relation to them, our time, our contemporaries, our stuff, and the passing of all of it. I really, I love Jacques Tati, I love Fassbinder, I love lot of directors and writers.
Alain René last year in Marienbad.
Alain René. A lot of time I was returning back to last year in Marienbad and to the novel which Moral Inventions, which supposedly inspired Marienbad.
Can I read your quote from some interviews that I found? You were saying, we live in a Puritan times, and what used to be normal is now considered experimental, like last year in Marienbad. It bothers me. We want to slap a nice, lean narrative on everything, and especially when shooting fiction, worry so much about plausibility. But here I could do anything. This kind of medium is neither an animation nor a serious feature film, so give me some freedom to play.
Okay, this was like composite of several statements, my statements, not exactly as I said it, but yeah, I agree. Yes, because I mean, when you look at this second wave of Hollywood and this artists who are influenced by European film and try to bring something into America, and after. And it was the last. I mean, after that came the age of this real money, big blockbuster. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but okay. So when I was kid, most of the movie I watched were very heavy. You know, you have to endure and to you know, very difficult films, especially the European, and but it is like today I think we lean more on continuity on linearity of sense than before. It's something we pathologically maybe we need. This narrative, this everything fits, everything, this causality, you know, cause and effect thing, and suddenly we said, yeah, these movies, you know, we're discussing films like Inception, and I don't know, okay, who am I to? But I don't like it, you know. Seriously, this movie, I don't think that even, you know, it's never be. Maybe it will be completely different world and the state of mind, but it never be something like Solaris or Kubrick or Odyssey and stuff. You know, it was just no something which will exist in the comic, maybe in the comic book, and not to mention this superhero blockbusters and I don't think. I think after the corona with the vaccine, and maybe it will only remain the game for this biggest blockbuster because it's big game. And I don't know what will happen with other kind of movies. And even David Lynch gave up. You know, he few years ago he said he will stop shooting movies for cinema because then it doesn't make sense with the competition of Black Panther or Avengers. Sorry, my throat went off. I need to replace cartridge.
But Dalibor, then maybe we will be all you know, gathering in some commune in the countryside, and we will have our own cinema clubs, and we will screen 16 8mm films to small number of people, you know. So because I believe that, you know, as in the art world and also like on the other side, there is a certain amount of people that are appreciating the arts, and they are not watching movies just for fun, or they try to get something more out of it. And I think this will never disappear. So the cinematheques and film clubs, I think they will stay, will become even more serious places where discussion will be.
Maybe, if they found a financial way, and you know, every time when some of medium technology is liberated from to be the mainstream apparatus, then it goes to avant-garde, to search the other areas. When the computer replaces some, I may find some example, but when they are not the mainstream voice, they are liberated. They can do anything. They can experimental. It also happened. I mean, at the end of the 80s. But it's not a good example.
But maybe the field of artistic animation and even more experimental cinema, it's this field where everything is still possible, and we are not constrained mainly and mostly from the financial part and the budget part and the success part and how many people will watch our films. But we are happy when we have a dialogue and discussion with at least one person on the other hand, and that's the reward probably that is being given working in those fields like poetry, experimental cinema, and animation artistic cinema, I would say.
Yeah, and of course some new thing will emerge from all this.
Okay, before I leave it to Veronika with two more in-depth questions, I'm just interested to understand. You use some found footage, so you just took things from the net, or you borrowed them, or what was this process, or like you just stole some pieces and put them in your film? What was this process? Was it conscious process?
Yes, exactly. I just stole and mostly what I can find on internet or around myself, and the most it's common creative and public domain find footages, some archives, some ephemeral films, industrial films and commercials. So I took something from some famous popular films. I even took from. Maybe it's not.
No, yeah, don't mention titles.
Yeah, okay, I will not mention my source. But then I feel guilt, and then I rotoscope it. Like, I did something. It's not just that I stole it, and it was, if I need the corridor, I search for corridors, or if I need man in the suit or woman with the head, I just search and search till I find it.
Okay,
just like that.
Let's go in depth to understand some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the dialogues often get quite meta and philosophical, and there's also some incredible dystopian traveling in time and into the subconscious involved. So what was the process of creating such a script, and were there any literatures or philosophical texts that inspired you, or like how much of it derived from your own subconscious maybe?
Some parts coming from my unconscious, subconscious, and there's a lot of things, text, ideas and stuff I'm interested into. I was reading about, I collect all this, and these are the fragments. Maybe sometimes even few words, one word, half a sentence, and there is some, maybe I don't know what is this phenomenology or some continental philosophy. Some things about I think I read a text interview with one neuroscientist who is also a philosopher, and it was very interesting and poetic what he said about this. And then I put it as with the apple, and but I think it's phenomenology. It's some part in philosophy. Your consciousness is something in midpoint between this apple and your head. Inside your head, just as you are in object of your perception, observation, and I put it on some clumsy ways to be like tongue in cheek, and you have this lecturer like TED conferences, and she said in nature everything is as it is, the stone is the stone, the cloud is the cloud, planet is the planet, film is the film, and it's supposed to be like standalone little micro poetry to make you to oh yeah, okay, maybe not, and go to inspire you to get your shower with thoughts. And there's also a lot of this breaking the fourth wall. The characters constantly refers this reality is film. Their reality is a film, and they are like aware of this. They talking about like I watched someone who watching the film, and when this film is over, no one will be in the audience, and it's like okay, some obvious statement, but also it's so banal that it have some mysticism arise from it, and the whole film is I collected all this idea over some period, and it's my way of dealing with everyday reality. And I'm living classic mainstream life with the family and kids and and going daily blah blah in the market and other stuff, and it's my way to process this reality. Me as artist, sometimes it really bothers me. Sometimes it really bothers me this level, this street level of life. All this stupidity, all this disturbing news, all this over saturation with stuff, and somehow I also fall for it. I think rarely when I'm creating, I'm like clear minded. Most of the time I think like I'm going on autopilot. I'm like hypnotized, and so this text is like me from when I'm with my innermost experience of the things, So there's information, there is a meaning, and there is something with this is not interchangeable. We have our inner experiences. We cannot exchange them. My experience of love or rain or cloud is mine, and yours is yours, and we can talk. Yes, it looks like a little bit like this, but we cannot. So I don't know. Maybe we are like black holes. Yeah, some aliens could use us as a Swiss chef to put our secrets in our subconsciousness. There's the safest place. No one can pull it out.
Hey, Dalibor, are you capable of hypnagogic dreaming? Do you know this technique?
If you think of lucid dreaming or
hypnagogic, you will try to see your hands, and then when you wake up, you remember.
When I was 18 or 20 years old, I was in one period I was interested in that, and I read that William Burroughs had a diary, and this continuity of this diary helped him to get in close with his, in control with his dreaming. And I only have this lucid dreaming once by accident, and it was really for the first time that time, and twice. Yes, this one time I remember that I need to visualize my arm, my hands, but at the same time I was taken by, my hands was like wooden and robotic, and it was not. It was like a fake. It was not that. It was a dream. But I'm not. I don't
practice. Yeah.
I don't practice anything of that. But I dream. I have these occurring dreams for 10 or 20 years. I dream zombie apocalypse. And I dream a UFO invasion. It's crazy because I'm not a zombie fan. I'm not into that. And I never saw zombie in the dream. Always this this tension and fear, and never saw a zombie. But always it's so real that I wake up in sweat. And then one time it occurred to me, this was like, as a teenager, I went to this war years in Croatia, and I saw a little bit of everything. And and then I said, so this is like I dealing with this trauma, because I never felt traumatized. I feel okay, it's gone. But in dreams, I dealing with this situation, because it's always familiar places, the cousins, the family, the people, and it's people going in the shelters and stuff. So it's zombies. But
let's try to understand another thing. I'm really interested in your way of working. Now you were telling us that you are collecting bits and pieces of different stuff, like ideas, words, maybe like some images. Where are you storing them? Do you have you put sentences in a diary as well? Or
no, I'm a little bit lazy because I draw, but since I started using this Wacom
digital pen,
I'm so lazy with I can even manage to put my signature. So I used to have these books with miniature collages and stuff, but I usually use the Word document or mobile phone. I wrote the feature film, another one, script, maybe 2 hours duration on the mobile phone, on this program for script writing. And it's most practical. I have a lot of documents with reminders, footnotes, and stuff. I like, I was practicing with this random word generators with different techniques like Oulipo, with the restrictions, with randomly cutting and rearranging and stuff. And it's very helpful because it's helped me to put in motion my way of writing, and I write much more, and I'm pretty satisfied with it than before. So it works.
Good to hear. You were saying also the digital tool that actually you are learning also like some 3D computer animation software.
Yes.
This is the direction you are going with your artwork?
Yes, but I will try to combine everything. I will not get rid of what I achieved before, my aesthetics and stuff, but I want to learn. I already made 2 music videos, and I really like it because now I regret that I didn't start before. But with the 3D is that people try and then said, "Oh my God, this is stupid. This is so boring," and then I finally achieved to endure. And then now I can do anything, and I'm really sorry that I didn't even start before, because comparing to After Effects and this Photoshop, you have to every time you need to reconstruct, start from the scratch. You need to put hundreds of layers to achieve a very cheap looking effect, and in 3D you just have to put 2 or 3 colored lights, and you already have a proper scene setting. You can move. It's really, for me, it's the best. I really struggle with it. Yeah.
What about virtual and augmented reality? Are you interested to understand what this new medium could bring us?
Yes. I'm interested. I would like to one day to be able to create my own garden, like a garden, and to walk inside it. No, I mean, I have recently experienced, my friend of mine, he had this motion capture suit and stuff and everything, and he had this virtual reality glasses I never experienced before. And then he put it to the Blade Runner scenario, Descartes' room. And then I really went into his room, and there's dust, in slow motion in his room. There's a piano, and when I approached the window, and there also there was raining, and there's a neighbor, the balcony of neighbor, and this giant hovering police car. It was incredible. The resolution is not yet what it should be, but it's enough. It really fools you. It really. I was thinking days and days after that. This was like, whoo! This is really interesting.
Okay, so it would be nice to see your work like transferred to that medium maybe one day when it will be more accessible in terms of production as well. So I think Veronika, she has a last question, and then
yeah. Okay. So since you started working on your film, and by the time it was finished and started its way around the festivals, the whole world around us changed dramatically. Do you feel the film got some new context or layer now that we all that our own lives have turned into a sort of dystopic reality?
Yeah. Because when I finished the movie, maybe half a month after that, started this Corona situation in this area, Slovenia and Croatia, and very soon, 1 week after that, there was an earthquake in Zagreb, and I didn't watch movie maybe until the Anima Fest. It was like half a year after, and when I watched it really touching, because it looks to me that I sense some future trauma and put it in this movie, because people said all these very depressing things, and it was like I don't know. I mean, it's like the sadness and trauma before it even happened. And even in the film, there's people who wearing a mask when they are going outside, and it's like new normal, because there's this part when Renata, the daughter of police inspector, said, "Father, don't forget your raincoat." And raincoat means this protective mask, and they talking about apocalypse. And in this theater, these 2 friends, they talking, and he said, "Oh, it's a coping mechanism to cope with stress." And then he said, facing the audience, and you have to go on. We have to go on with everyday life. And then they even mentioned quarantines. Should the John go to quarantine? Yes, maybe, but perhaps why? And stuff. There's a lot of things which like profiting, but okay, I don't believe in that kind of possibility. But it's really so. And the visiting the cinema, and I really didn't expect.
But actually, the film has had until now great reception, critical reception at festivals around the world. Actually, it premiered at the famous and the biggest and the most important Annecy International Animated Film Festival in their new program section Contre-Champ competition, which is aimed towards like more experimental or non-classical narrative films. Then it was screened at the World Festival of Animated Films in Zagreb, but also at Lima, Alterna, Bogota International Film Festival, Thessaloniki International Film Festival, Sevilla European Film Festival. So it's a film that it's not only screened at animation festivals, but at general festivals.
And it's invited by a CIFA to any awards competition.
Great. So, is this a reward for you that you saw after maybe making a film that you knew that it will not be so easy for the audience to accept in those times?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't even want to bother my friends, my wife. I didn't want to. Can you watch this movie? Because I was thinking, oh my God, I don't want to oblige, to them to make them, you must now see my movie, or I didn't want to bother them. So no one see this film. The first who saw, except me, and even I didn't watch it after I finished it, was Annecy public. I was always thinking, okay, this is maybe hard thing. I don't want people to spend 1 hour to watch this on computer. But when I saw it on AnimaFest, I think it's not a big deal. There was even one couple, I don't know, maybe they are stoned, but they are laughing on every joke in the movie. And it was like once, I don't know, maybe I'm not one to talk, but for me it was once the film started, it's taking you on a ride until when film is finished, you don't know what you just saw. It was like psychedelic experience, but there was everything. So I think it's not so hard, maybe, to watch or to enjoy.
Yes. Well, I really think that
it's like alternative music. Yeah. When you listen to Sonic Youth, you need to. When you listen to Einstürzen Bauten, there is also always the catch. Yeah. You have to absorb the noise also.
Dalibor, in the last 10 years, 5 years, there is this big oversaturation of animated feature films, and a lot of them, they are made like on a classical narrative way, even like having a formula for a success, for a commercial success.
Yeah, I hate it.
And I really think that a film as your film, it's very, very important nowadays, because it gives us still a hope, and it's showing to the world, also to the industry, that listen, we can we have another reality going on. It's possible to be a filmmaker in a different way. But let's just try for the end.
It's like punk rock aesthetics, fanzine aesthetics. It's photocopied at home.
Let's solve one big question towards the end of this talk. The title, Accidental Luxuriance of the Translucent Watery Rebus.
Yes. But it's depend on context. Because I already mentioned that it sounds like the title of some Remedios Varo or Max Ernst painting. Surrealists have this tradition of putting this kind. It also sounds like definition of not a surrealistic definition of beauty, the accidental meeting, chance meeting and stuff. And in a way I want to provoke, because nowadays the film have one short word, and I'm more like the Smiths guy who like the longest possible title of the song. And someone wrote when you watch this movie, you start to thinking even before the movie begins. You stumble like, this title, what is it about? But on the other hand, this sounds like the title of the children's school program of Jacques Cousteau. Exploration, sea exploration. So imagine the episode today we will explore the rare medusa called Rebus, and then the title of the episode is Accidental Luxuriance of Translucent Watery Rebus. And so this is no more enigma, but I wanted to be like in enigma in surrealistic tradition. Yeah.
Okay, Dalibor Barić, it was great talking to you. I hope that after this talk, for everybody who follows us, they will, if they didn't yet, they will go and they will check the film. I'm also very, very happy that we will meet next year live in the cinema, and actually we will have a chance maybe to have more Q&As with the audience as well. So it will be much more fun than like this.
Yeah. Looking forward. Yeah.
Thank you very much that you opened up to ourselves. I know we are not so much talkative person in terms of talking about your art. You like more to do it and not to discuss it so much, if I'm not wrong. So thank you for your time. And with this, Veronika, you had something, maybe a line for the end, or maybe half a more question for Dalibor?
No.
No, I start to sound boring, so maybe better to cut it out.
Okay, I will finish this rakia it's a homemade one, courtesy of Raskoš, and we hardly managed to drink the whole bottle during the whole week of the discussion and talks. And actually, I will say cheers to you, Veronika. Will you drink with me?
Yeah. I will waving with my pencil. Cheers to you, Veronika and Igor. And my battery is almost at zero. So
you see, so we manage. I'm cheering also to Matjaž, our Zoom director, that was really attentive and
cheers, people. Yeah.
And actually, it's really a sad moment because we will have to shoot this studio down. The programs and the films, you can watch them until Wednesday at midnight.
Okay.
And it's actually one more festival that we almost brought to the end. Again, I'm saying we will meet, and I'm happy about that, to watch your film in the cinema. And thank you very much for your time, for your...
Thank you. I'm very happy and grateful about the opportunity to see you even in this edition and talk. And it's optimistic.
Yes. And how should we close it? We say hello to the whole world, even though I think that there are not many watching us now live, but this, it will be, we have 5 persons, but they are really interested in this discussion probably because they stayed all the time. I hope that never again we'll do it in this way, but we and the whole team of the festival, especially our technical Mark Smile, that I'm giving him a big cheerio, helped us that we did it. And yes, let's long life to cinema, long life to art, long life to freedom in the arts. And it's great to finish this live Zoom's online events with you, Dalibor Barić. Again, thank you very much, and bye-bye to everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.